shadow you. And God is about to do something in your family, in your home, in your finances, in this church, in this city, in this region. God is a big God. I'm here on assignment. God sent me to Austin tonight. God wants to usher in a new order in the earth through you. And new means different from the same which existed before. You cannot put new wine in old wineskins. So God's been changing you to bring change through you. And so you have to have a better quality skin developed to receive what is being poured out. That's why I said I'm not the only one that went through things in 2003, 2004, because God was making the structure better. God was saying anything that doesn't have eternal value cannot stand during the shaking. And so God said there's a new season coming for my people. There's a new positioning coming for my people. And so I've got it because religion doesn't work, but relationship does. And he said, I'm doing a new thing. He said, because I don't just want you to go through a routine. He said, I want to have an intimate relationship. And so I'm going to do something. I don't want you just to play church. I want you to be the church. I want you to stand between the sacred and the secular. I want you to exegesis the community, which means I want you to show who I am in every aspect of life. I don't want you to just come in and put your God cape on and your prayer shawl on and get powerful in church. I want you to be powerful when you walk down the streets. I want you to be powerful in your homes. I want you to be powerful in the bank and in the supermarket. Slap somebody, say, if you only had a clue who you were sitting next to. So tonight, God is interested in directing your purpose in life to bring forth His greatness. I hope you caught that statement. Because God is interested in directing your purpose in life to bring forth His greatness. Your purpose is intention. So God's interested in your relationship to show forth His greatness. God's interested in what you do on your job to show forth His greatness. God's interested in every aspect of your life to show forth His greatness. He's going to redefine how you see yourself tonight. That you are significant. That you are valuable. That you have something great to do for Him. Be it unto me according to the word. But you will never know what's in you and how to bring it out if you dwell in the darkness of yesterday. You got to forget those things that are behind you and press, which means resist that which would resist you. Press toward the mark of the prize, the high calling. I challenge you, don't force what no longer fits in your life. Whatever leaves your life, let it go. If it left, it's not part of your destiny. If it's part of your destiny, it can't leave. If it's not, it can't stay. What God has for you, He has for you. So everybody that left and walked out and turned on you, get the gift of goodbye. Have a funeral, just say it's over. Say thank you for the purpose you serve. But this is a new season. It's a season of favor. And I can't live feeling sorry for myself for the things that happened yesterday. Because God's doing something right now. And what I'm pregnant with tonight, what I'm pregnant with right now, what I'm intimate with right now, because yesterday's in the tomb. Today, the Spirit of God wants to birth my today in my womb so I can bring forth a better tomorrow. Look at somebody, say, I've got something great to deliver. So we're in a sovereign season. We're in a sovereign season. You're entering a new season. We're in a holy season right now on the calendar of God. We're approaching Atonement, Rosh Hashanah, Happy New Year. So we just came through. We're in 10 days of all right now. That's God's calendar. And many of us don't have a clear understanding that we're in God's most holy time right now. But right after Atonement on the 14th, we enter into Tabernacles, which is harvest. It wasn't coincidental that Pastor said it's September, which is a birthing month, but on the calendar it's the 7th month. And 7 is the number of completion on God's calendar. On our calendar it's the 9th, but on God's it's the 7th. And in the 7th month you're about to come into completion. And God's favor. It wasn't coincident. There's no such thing in the Spirit that He said this is the month of favor. Because you're walking into favor. So the question is not, is favor here for you? The question is, are you prepared for favor? Can you handle favor? Are you ready for favor? What are you going to do when favor visits your life? Come on, what are you going to do when the Holy Ghost overshadows you tonight when you go home? What are you going to do when your son gets saved and he's been strung out on drugs for 10 years? What are you going to do when you make that first deposit of $1 million? What are you going to do when your Boaz comes into your life next month? What are you going to do when you find out after the doctor said you've been barren. God is a big God. I feel like anything can happen in this house tonight. So we're in a sovereign season. God's demanded the big. The big has been delivered. Now God is just saying, who's going to carry it forth? Who's going to manifest it? To grasp this, I want to look at three very practical things with Mary. Just three little points that I think are going to help you. For Mary to bring forth the big, she had to have three things happen. Number one, she had to change her plan. Some of you are going to have to change your plan. From your agenda to God's agenda. Which means your faith has to shift. Wherever your faith was, whatever it was out there working at, God has already spoke through the set man. And he said your faith has to zone in for favor. And when all of us begin to zone in for favor, get ready and watch what's going to happen with your children. Get ready and watch what's going to happen with your finances, with your spirit, come on, with your house, with your job, with this city. And so all of us are we're about to shift. Look at somebody and say, it's time to shift. You're going to have to change plans. And then not only did she have a change of plan, but she had a paradigm shift. That means she had to change the way she thought. She had to change her thinking, and I'm going to work on that with you tonight, because that's the most difficult part. And so that's when she said she cast a salutation in her mind. The King James says, so the mind became the battlefield, because that's where you have the fluctuations between faith and flesh, But we're going to deal with that tonight. Then she had to change her partners. Some of you are going to have to shut the door to some people, delete some numbers, get rid of them. Because God said, I'm about to put you down with somebody who can celebrate what you're carrying. God's about to bring some new people in your life. He's going to put some people in your life that are happy for his plan. So change has already come. We're not waiting for change. We're not waiting for things to change. I know the big slogan when President Obama ran the first time was change. And with all due respect, he was not the one that came up with that. We were preaching change back in 2003, 2004, 2005. And so we were already prophesying and declaring. We're not waiting for change to happen. When change, when something changes, it means to make different or to shift. When something shifts, it means to change place, to change position, or change direction. I'm going to go deep with you for just 2 seconds. In the Greek, it is a metathesis. A metathesis is an uprooting of one thing for a downlaying of another thing, which means anything that didn't have eternal value could not stand during a shaking. Because when something gets uprooted, if it is not birthed by the Spirit of God, that's why some of your relationships could not stand. That's why some things couldn't happen. I'll go way deep on you in 2 seconds here. I made decisions when I was 19 years old that I didn't have revelation of when I was 40 years old. And because of those decisions, the enemy is a long-term planner. He's very good at what he does. And so he'll send people in your life to manifest and hijack your destiny 20 years after you make a decision. But you lock into permanent things that are not blessed by God. But when God begins to have a metathesis, everything that is not of the Spirit of God will not stand. You better thank God for some things that left your life. You better thank God for some things that collapsed. That's why I said the greatest blessing in my life was not flying around on a private jet or bringing multitudes of millions of dollars into the kingdom or being on 47 markets. The greatest blessing in my life was that God loved me enough to reduce me to Christ, that in Him I live and I move and I have my being.